Well, welcome back, guys, to Hernandez Home Brewing, and today we will be making a pale ale. But as you can see in front of you, it's going to be a hopped up pale ale. So what I got is Cascade. That's all we're using, and we'll be doing 4 ounces total today, and then the other 3 ounces will be dry hops. We're going to do at 5 minutes. We're going to do an ounce of Cascade. And then for flame out, we're going to do the other 3, cool down to 180, let it set for 20 minutes and steep with the Cascade. As you see right here is the hop shot. I'm going to be doing that for the bittering edition. So I'm going to do the rest of that hop shot at 60 minutes. And then for the yeast, we will be using 1272 American Ale 2. And it is a smack pack. So that's what we're using today. For the hops, the yeast, etc. And then for the grain bill, I'm going to be doing, let's see, 10 pounds 2-row, and I'm doing 8 ounces of Crystal 40 and a ½ pound of acidulated malt. Acidulated malt just helps with pH, but you know, I still can adjust it with lactic acid or whatever I need. So what I got so far, and got the water coming up to temp for mashing, and yeah, so today will be a nice day. I get to use the hop spider. I don't get to use it too much because previously, before, I had an immersion chiller, and with the immersion chiller I couldn't fit the hop screen and the immersion chiller both together inside the boil kettle. Now that I have a counterflow chiller, I can actually do that. I purchased the, well actually my wife bought me the Northern Brewer counterflow chiller right there for Christmas, so thank God I have that. Now I can use my well, it's not a hop spider, it's just a hop screen, whatnot. I'll show you what it looks like. You guys seen it probably in my videos. If you watch my videos, you pretty much know what I do have already, but that's it right there. It's a 300 micron screen. This hangs off the side. So, yep. Anyways, that's about it. Previously to this brew day, I made a Berliner Weiss. Well, it's my second time making a Berliner. I did it one time before, and this time I'm like, you know, let me do 5 gallons since I like that type of style of beer. It's originated from Berlin. That's why it's called the Berliner Weiss, but is now becoming a well-known beer here in the States. You see it more in breweries and stuff like that. It wasn't like that before, years ago, so a lot of these beers are coming back. But I like it, and so it's not the exact like recipe like of what a Berliner Weiss is supposed to be, I guess. I don't know if there really is a exact recipe, but I do know you're supposed to use Pilsner malt and then wheat malt. But instead of doing that, I decided to do 2-row and wheat malt. So it didn't, the pH didn't get down to where I wanted it to. So I racked it into a secondary, and I racked it on top of some pomegranate juice, and it started fermentation again. But I'm gonna let it sit in there until the pH gets low enough. And when the pH gets low, that means the tartness, the acidity level is there. And that's what I'm waiting for. Tried it the other day, a couple days ago, when I racked it into secondary, and it was far from where it needed to be. It's at, I think, 4.4 is the pH right now. So I'm waiting for it to get in the 3s. So, but you'll see a tasting on that as soon as that's done. But anyways, like I said, water's coming up to temp, and as soon as that's ready, we can mash in. But today I kind of wanted to go and talk about, you know, mashing and temperature levels and stuff like that. So when you're mashing in, depending on what you're using and whatnot, my system, I have to go through the hoses from here It's going to go through the pump and it's going to go in there. So it's going to go through the hoses, and it's going to lose temperature when it comes out of the pot. So you have to account for that when you're brewing, depending on the system or whatnot you're using. But you got to account for temperature differential. So you're going to lose temperature going in there. So that means you need to make sure that your water in there is going to be higher. So when it goes in there, it loses some temperature and it goes in there what you want. So depending on the system you have and whatnot, you'll figure out what that temperature is. I'm in the 160 range. As soon as I get in there, it drops down significantly into the around 154-ish, whatnot. So, but it's always good to go in a little bit higher, because it's easier to bring the temperature down by stirring, and then it just goes down. It's probably the easiest way, instead of going too low and then you have to heat up some more water and then add it to the mash tun, and that's just a pain. So I'm talking about temperatures of mashing. So you have your high temperature mashing and low temperature mashing. The lower you mash at, the more sugars you're going to get. The higher you mash at, the less sugar you're going to get at. So depending on the style of beer or the beer that you're making, you got to consider that. So if you want to make a stout or something and you want it to be thicker and creamier and whatnot, you're gonna mash at a higher temperature, because you don't want all those. You don't want too much sugar. So you want more body than sugar. So when you ferment, when you mash low temperatures, you're going to get more sugar. So you're going to get more fermentability and more alcohol as well. The higher you ferment temperature, you're going to get less sugar, so you're going to get less alcohol. And that's just how it works. So talking about that a little. What else did I want to talk about? That's about all I can think about right now. But this is temperature ranges, that's based on the style that you're making. So like today, I don't want, my grain bill's already, my base grains are lower, so I don't have a higher alcohol content at the end. My ABV will be lower because of my base grains. Your base grains, you get most of your sugar from your base grains, and your specialty grains are more for color and some flavor and stuff like that. You get sugar from them, but you don't get as much as you do from your base grains. So if you want to lower your alcohol, one of the things you can do is you can do less base grains. So that's why I did 10 pounds, or I didn't want to do any more than that. 10 pounds of base malt. So kind of thinking about it, I kind of should have went a little bit lower. But another thing you can do too, so if you do get a lot of starch conversion and you get a lot of sugar, that means you're going to get higher gravity. You can always add water, dilute it, and it won't be as strong. So that's another thing you can do as well. So yeah, just some tips, advice thrown out there. So anyways, I'll bring you back in a few when we're ready. Alright guys, so I have the grains in the mash tun. Here's the grain. Move this out of the way. And we're going to go ahead and start adding the water to the mash tun. We're going to do it. I always underlet. It's even distribution of the water going through from the bottom to the top. It just helps with dough balls, so I don't have any dry grain sitting in there. So if you have dry grain sitting in there, water's not touching it, you're not going to get any conversion. So go ahead and start doing that now. The temperature in the HLT was at 165. Now I'm transferring over at 165. Just so you guys know, if you're wondering. You can see the grains kind of lifting, getting pushed up. There we go, we got some liquid in there. And we're just making sure everything's all saturated. When I first started brewing and I got this set up, I originally got a metal spoon. I was thinking, oh, a metal spoon would be great. I drilled holes in it and to make it kind of look like this. And you got holes in it, so when you're pushing your grain, it helps to saturate the grain like that. So I used to use a metal spoon, and now that I've been brewing for a while, I realize, well, metal spoon's great and all, and it works really good, but it scratches your pot. It scratches everything inside your pot. So I don't use the metal spoon anymore. I actually got this plastic one for now, but I'm gonna get a wood paddle, a little bit sturdier. This gives this works. It does what I want it to do, but it has some flex in it, as you can see. Get some flex on it, and not super sturdy like a wood one would be. But so my advice would be, don't use a metal spoon if you can help it. Either try to use a wood one if you can. So, if you guys have seen, there's a gentleman on YouTube that he uses a wooden spoon, and I always wondered why, and I was like, well, it makes sense. You know, scratch your pot. Make your pots keep looking nice and last a long time. So, that's what you're looking for right here, guys. That's how you want your mash to look, you know. So, that's about it. So we're just going to let this mash. I'm going to let it sit at 154 today. And let that go for an hour. And then I'll bring you guys back. We will be transferring all the liquid into the boil kettle and starting our boil. Alright. Hey guys, so what's going on right now is I just got the water recirculating. I had to add more water to my HLT. I always have to add water every single time. So you have the water over the Herms coil, so you can keep that consistent temperature and run the liquid through the wort, through the mash tun, out the mash tun, through the wort pump, through the Herms coil, and then out the Herms coil, through the sparge arm in there to sparge. So that's just going to be happening in a second. I'm just waiting for this water here to get back up the temperature, because I had to add 2 gallons of water to make sure that I was topped up to the top. Already mashed in. I have all the grains in there, and I have the water in there, but just waiting for this to get up the temp, and then I'll start recirculating everything and let it go for an hour. Previously I was talking about a gentleman that uses a wooden spoon, and I was watching him, and I watch his videos. He's a great brewer, home brewer. His name's Tony Yates, and his channel is Northern Rock Brewery. I would definitely check him out. He's always putting up videos, and he's got an amazing looking brewery and amazing setup, so definitely check him out. Lots of tips and advice from him. He even has a whole video, I think 2 videos actually, he had split it up, about water chemistry. So if you're interested in learning about water chemistry and Lots of stuff. His channel is also very very informative. So yeah, I just want to let you guys know about Tony and about what I'm up to right now with all these hoses, because it looks kind of crazy. I just got the water coming out, going through the water pump, back in and through there. I know people are probably wondering how come I don't have a port up top to go ahead and recirculate the water. I just put so many holes in these pots, I'm just like, it's fine doing it that way. It works, gets the job done. I know having that lid open, a little heat's escaping, you know, but it does the job. It works, gets the temperature up. The reason I do that, I mean, maybe some people are wondering, if you're not a home brewer or you don't brew, why I'm doing that is the water's coming out and it's going through here and it's going in there, and I have on the end of the hose is kind of like a bent arm, and it's pushing all the water around in there, so you can keep a consistent temperature in there. So if you don't do that, you might want to stir it occasionally so the water is all the same temperature in there, because if you don't, you'll have hot water on the bottom and you'll have cold water on top, and you won't have an accurate reading of what the temperature is, because you have your temperature probes down here, and this is telling you what the temperature is down here, and on the top it could be not as hot. So that's the reason I do it, and if you watch any other videos and you see them as well, it's the reason they do it too. So yeah, we'll see in a few when we're recirculating, and towards the end of that I'll probably show you the clarity from the beginning to the end, and then we'll get everything in the all the wort in the boil kettle and start a boil. Alright, cheers. So there we are, guys. That's what it looks like when recirculate through the Herms coil. So do this for an hour. That's what that looks like right now. And as you guys seen in my other videos, oh, it needs to be tightened up a little bit. As you've seen in my other videos, they all clear up at the end. By the time it's done, you can see there's all sorts of stuff going through there. Yeah, all sorts of stuff going through there. So it's cloudy, but it should be clear by the end. So yeah, see you when it's all the hour's over and it's cleared up. All right, guys, we're back. I skipped a couple things. I didn't bring you guys back when I said I was, but right now what's going on is we're done mashing and all the wort's in the boil kettle. So that's it right there. Oops. I'm going to put in my firm cap. So I usually put in. This is what it is right here. And I'm going to go and put some of these in. That helps with the boil overs, as you've seen in my other videos. I've talked about it before. So yeah, I'm gonna get it up to a boil, and then we'll start adding some hops. I'll bring you back then. All right, here we go, guys. So here is the hop rake right now. All that stuff at the top, that's the proteins coming up to the top. All that scummy stuff. Well, so since we had we got our boil rolling, we're going to go ahead and add our hop shot. Just go ahead and mix this up a little bit. Turn this flame down just a little bit so it doesn't go crazy. And let's go ahead and add the hop shot. So this is the hop shot. That's what's going to be going in. You can see that. That's how much is going in. That's it. Alright, guys, I'll bring you back when we start adding the pellet hops. to the boil. It'll be only one addition at 5 minutes, and then the rest will be at flame out, or when I cool it down a little bit to 180. All right, guys. So last 10 minutes of the boil. That is a yeast nutrient, all that powder, and then the round thing that looks like a pill, that is a Warflock tablet. A Warflock tablet helps to clear the wort, to make a clear beer. And then the yeast nutrient, basically what a yeast nutrient is dead yeast, but it gives the yeast something to start eating on and gets them going quicker. There we go. And that's done. And in about 5 minutes or so, we're going to drop the cascade, or yeah, I think that's what it is, cascade hops. And then cool it down and add the rest of the hops. See you then. All right, guys, last 5 minutes. Yum, it smells amazing. Gonna add it. There we go. Hops added, and we'll see when we add the rest of the hops. All right, here we go. Hop drop number 2. We've cooled it down, and now we're gonna add all these hops. This is 3 ounces. Here we go. Now we're just gonna put the lid back on and let it sit for 20 minutes. All right, guys. That's about it for the day. Got to clean up. I already cleaned out the mash tun, thank God. So just gotta clean the rest of the hoses, pump, stuff like that. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. When we'll be doing a tasting, I'll let you know what it finished out at and what the gravity readings are, pH level, stuff like that. So see you then, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Cheers. Pretty crazy. So today's I believe the 3rd day, and now it's on high gear fermentation. As you can see inside there, it's all swirling around and moving. And that's my bottle to the right with my blow-off tube in it with star sand. Carousing. Crazy looking. Crazy looking, guys. Crazy looking. So anyways, that's my pale ale fermenting. And that is day 3. Just want to show everybody what it looked like, so you can see the fermentation for yourself. Alright, guys. Cheers. Alright, guys, it's been a few weeks, and you've just seen all the footage for the brew day and how it went. And let's go ahead and get this beer in a glass and see what it looks like and get an aroma and tasting on it. So, yeah, so this beer was 10 pounds of 2-row, 8 ounces Crystal 40, and a half pound of acidulated malt. And I used nothing but Cascade hops in the beer. I did 1 ounce of Cascade at 5 minutes and 3 ounces of Cascade at flame out. And then my bittering addition I did at the beginning. I did a half of a hop shot. So that was the bittering, half of a hop shot at the 60-minute, and then 1 ounce Cascade at 5 minutes and 3 ounces of Cascade at flame out. And then for the dry hop, I did 3 ounces of Cascade. And the yeast was white yeast 1272 American Ale. So as you can see, it's looking real clear. So it turned out to be a really good beer. I have had this before, but I'll tell you what I get. Tropical grapefruit, a big whiff of like grapefruit and just awesome citrus aroma on it. So yeah, it's amazing. I love it. And it's only 3%, so it's a great drinker. I mean, you can have quite a few before you start feeling it. So, and yeah, it's really clean, really crisp, and perfect for summer. So good thing I got it on tap. It's getting pretty hot here in Florida, and it's gonna just keep getting hotter. So, but if you guys have any questions about this beer, please comment below, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.